Tonight, the Chief Minister, Andrew Barr, survives a no-confidence motion against him.
They're all complicit, every single one of them.
What we've seen this morning is a stunt from the Leader of the Opposition, an exercise in smear over substance.
Tough new penalties for anyone caught racing greyhounds in the ACT. The National Australia Bank to shed 6,000 jobs over the next 3 years, despite announcing a massive profit. And 75 years on, remembering the Kokoda campaign and those who served.
They were inured to suffering. Suffering was now for them an integral part of life.
Good evening, Dan Bourchier with ABC News. The ACT's Chief Minister has survived an attempted ousting in the Territory's Legislative Assembly. The Canberra Liberals triggered a motion of no confidence against Andrew Barr, citing alleged corrupt decision-making. But the opposition failed to convince the Chamber's crossbench. Here's political reporter James Fettis.
It's the most serious move an opposition can make.
Madam Speaker, the opposition does not have confidence in the ACT government.
And James Fettis joins me now from the Legislative Assembly. James, what does this mean for the Liberals?
Dan, a no-confidence motion is a high-stakes move. That's part of why they're so rare in ACT politics. For starters, they take up hours of time in the chamber and much more outside of it. So you'd only expect one to be brought on if it had a reasonable chance of success.
Thanks, James Fettis, reporting there from the Legislative Assembly. Also today, after months of promises, the ACT government has finally presented its legislation to wind up the Canberra Greyhound industry. Elise Scott joins me now from the Assembly. Elise, this legislation will make it an offence to race greyhounds.
That's right, Dan. Anyone caught racing a greyhound from May next year could face up to 12 months behind bars and a $15,000 fine.
Thanks, Elise Scott, reporting there at the Legislative Assembly. An alleged associate of the Nomads outlaw motorbike gang has been arrested in connection with a raid on a Tuggeranong home that netted a stockpile of guns. Among the weapons seized in Richardson were an assault rifle, a shotgun, a couple of pistols, a hand grenade and a pile of ammunition. Police allege that some of them may have been used in a shooting on a home in Warramanga in July. On the same day it posted a record $5.3 billion profit, National Australia Bank announced it will shed thousands of jobs in a bid to stay relevant in a high-tech world. Around 6,000 traditional jobs at NAB will go as consumers increasingly do their banking on smartphones rather than at branches. Andrew Robertson reports.
40 years ago, the only way to withdraw money was to visit a bank before 3 in the afternoon and speak to a teller.
Name, please. John Brown.
A new explanation has come to light for why the Senate President Stephen Parry didn't reveal he had a dual citizenship problem until this week. The ABC has been told he raised doubts about his status with coalition ministers more than 2 months ago, but was advised not to declare anything publicly. Political editor Andrew Probyn has the story.
14,000 kilometres distance didn't dilute the Prime Minister's anger.
75 years on, those who survived the Kokoda campaign have reflected on the incredible hardships they experienced and the mates who helped them through. 640 Australians died during 4 months of fighting at Kokoda, and thousands more were lost in the battles that would follow. Today, Australia paused to remember a defining moment in the nation's history. Tom Lowry reports.
Outnumbered and outgunned, those who fought at Kokoda felt they were the last line of defence.
Still to come this hour, most states have anti-corruption agency. Why not the federal government?
We reveal the former judges and senior lawyers publicly pushing for a national corruption watchdog.
I've got no doubt that there's corruption at all levels in the federal government.
To have a body like this means that the public will have confidence that there is oversight of their politicians.
That's coming up.
Over the coming nights, we're turning our attention to Canberra's quiet achievers, the finalists for the ACT Australian of the Year Awards. The announcement will be made on Monday, and tonight Craig Allen profiles the 4 remarkable Canberrans shortlisted for the ACT Senior Australian of the Year.
They've earned the right to put their feet up, but for these 4 seniors, retirement's a dirty word.
To finance now, and Australia's trade surplus doubled in September thanks to tourism earnings and burgeoning exports to China. And as Alan Kohler reports, that's helped push the Australian dollar back above 77 US cents.
Well, Australia's trade is booming at the moment, with the surplus more than doubling in September. And there's just one driver of it, China, in 2 ways. First, because annual exports to China have hit $100 billion for the first time. And second, because of tourism. And that's finance.
Sport now, and NRL players are set to receive the biggest pay rise in the game's history. Following the lead of cricket and the AFL, rugby league players will get a greater share of the game's revenue. Jennifer Browning reports.
An end to rugby league's pay stoush is finally in sight.
To weather now, and how about this sunset over Lake Tuggeranong taken by Daryl Kolsky. Thanks, Daryl. Great pick. Another wonderful sunny day with a top of 23 after a low of 6 tonight. Goulburn recorded the coolest temperatures last night of 3 degrees. Today, there was a top of 25 in Wagga Wagga. Around the nation, there was a windy top of 23 in Sydney, while Melbourne saw a cooler day. A significant low-pressure system remains slow-moving, centred over the Tasman Sea. A weak ridge of high pressure extends over New South Wales today. Maintaining fine weather in most districts, the ridge will decay overnight with a trough forecast to bring a southerly change to the end of the week. Tomorrow, showers are forecast in Sydney and Melbourne. A sunny day is expected in Perth and Alice Springs. Clouds are on the cards across the region early in the day tomorrow. Rain is forecast in the west and also on the coast. Here in Canberra, a low of 7 is forecast tonight. A cloudy top of 21 is on the cards tomorrow, with some rain expected in Tuggeranong. The sun will rise at 5 to 6 and set again at 20 to 8. Rain is still forecast across the weekend, and to start the next working week, some sun is on the cards in the middle of next week. And that's the latest from the Canberra newsroom. I'm Dan Bourchier. Thanks for your company. Stay with us now for 7:30 with Lee Sales.